Hey everybody, this is Mike Goldstein, Stickers of the C.A.N Report, Nozzle Tov. I'm in Fitzwilliam, New Hampshire. I'm at the Meadowwood Area Fire Department Fire Training Center, and we just had a great weekend of training. We're bringing it back. It's the revival of the fire conference in New Hampshire, and I have with me the brain trust of this whole organization. We have board members and our instructors. I'm happy to talk with them today. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves, starting with the chief here.
I'm Chief Mark Huntoon, president of the board. I'm Chief Mark Huntoon, president of the board.
I'm Dan Nowell. I helped organize some of the training here. Owner of Invictus Fire Solutions, also a career fire.
I'm Robbie Nowell, Dan's kid. Yeah, I kind of just helped out throughout the weekend and did whatever they didn't want to do. So
I'm Jake Poulin, owner of Jake's of All Trades, Lieutenant, C.A.N Fire Department, and also
Chief Adam Zabriskie with Fitzwilliam.
Awesome. So how did you guys come up with this? Like, I know it's got a lot of history, a lot of tradition of this area. I know from my father-in-law that, man, there was training going on here since the 50s, right? I saw the plaque on there. It's 1957. You guys, where'd you come with this?
I would probably start with Adam, because that was kind of their...
So myself, my deputy chief Charlie Kennison, and Mark Huntoon had the idea. It's been quite a process for 5 years. We had to deal with DES and EPA because back in the day when they used foam spray. Been quite a project. We brought Dan and Jake on last year onto the board. Kind of made it a little more official. Got a couple other members of the board, Rob Scrocky and Chris Hill. We've been at it, and this is the start of it.
I love it. Now, back in the day, was it state funded? Was it a privately owned facility? Like, how did that work?
Well, it started out in 1953 as a privately owned facility by Donald Holbrook, and then it just revolved into private, through the classes, and that was self-supporting for years.
For people who went through it back in the day, did they get legitimate certifications, like you're firefighter trained? Is any kind of
a lot of them were state craft classes back in the day.
So there were state instructors that were assisting.
Yeah, they had state instructors come in. They had the fire building, the Class A building. They had an oil pit, and they had a tower for doing high angle rescue and all that.
That's great. And this lake was still here. That was all still going on.
Yeah.
And what a beautiful setting for that. And so you didn't want the property to be turned over to big retail stores. You wanted to keep that in town and build something back to give back to future generations. You reached out to Dan and Jake. Why did you reach out to them?
I think it was Dan first. Reach out.
Went to high school.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'll just kind of elaborate on that. Is that I got involved with it because I believe in it. I was a student here. I instructed here a long time ago, probably when I was like Robbie's age. I was doing the same bitch work that he was doing all weekends. Adam reached out, and the chief reached out, and I said, hey, why don't we come up with a plan? And we were thinking we can start doing some classes here and there. And I had a conversation with Jake because we usually collaborate together on a lot of things. And we came up with a brilliant idea 4 months ago to let's have a fire conference. And we don't know what we're doing. When we worked on putting it together, and we realized, we'll come out, we'll teach a couple classes that we're familiar with, and we'll do this and that. And immediately when we started putting it out there was tremendous support from local fire departments. There's tremendous support from local businesses. Tremendous support from fire equipment companies and dealers. As you saw today, we had representation from 3 different extrication tool companies and all that sort of stuff. So it was immediately started progressing into something that was bigger than we had anticipated. Anything you?
Yeah, I mean, this really just started out of an idea of why don't we just do our own conference in the area for the fire departments around here? Going to Concord isn't the most feasible for Fitzwilliam firefighters, Troy firefighters. It's not the most convenient, especially to get just simple, basic, hands-on training, right? Hose drills, ladder drills, search drills. Just getting that basic stuff that we do at every fire is very difficult to get to.
And the curriculum you came up with was pretty spot on. The fact that you had extrication, you had an EV class, you have a med track, and we had hose evolutions, search, VIS. It was a really good weekend to have all of that combined, like you said, for the small area departments that don't get that in. And then Friday night, you had a presentation, a keynote speaker by Chief Dennis Riley. And I think a lot of people took a lot of good information from him as well. So I like the fact that you're introducing some outside influence as well to get some good knowledge of people that normally wouldn't be able to fly to some of those conferences that he might be teaching at, that you're bringing them here and to get some good quality education.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of this, a lot of it fell into our lap, like sponsorships, the community support. Dennis Riley reached out, so it literally started as just Saturday, Sunday. Dan will do his track.
Yeah.
I'll do my track.
We didn't even have the medical track that was even considered, and then we're like, well, maybe you should reach out to that group. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of this just fell into our lap, and through support of the community and the local fire departments, it grew into something that we didn't even think that it was going to be this for the first year.
It's impressive. And you seem to have a lot of support from the local communities. I love that you have the area departments right next door. You guys didn't want to let it go away and die, and you're bringing it back to New Hampshire. You also had, I think you had like a medical SWAT track as well.
EMS in the warm zone class, and then all day today was taught by UMass MedFlight.
Oh, nice.
So we collaborated with them. They brought the helicopter both days, landed it right at Emerson School where we hosted the class. So it was.
They brought up their high fidelity training mannequin, so they're able to provide some high acuity training in regards to patient management, as well as a class on LVAD, which obviously is a ventricular assist device. They actually brought one up, showed how it worked, went through the process of changing control units and batteries, because essentially, for those that don't know, and I'm not the right guy to be talking about it, but in the failure of an LVAD is potentially a life-threatening situation for a patient, and actually have hands-on experience with the device prior to being confronted with it on a scene is invaluable information for preserving life.
That's great.
That was huge. That was a huge opportunity for the members that attended that.
That's awesome. And then you have your son Robbie, who's participating as an instructor as well. Robbie, what did you get out of this?
A lot, actually. It was an amazing weekend. This is a generational thing for me. Grandparents, uncles, my old man came here for years to do their training, their basic training, and to be a part of this is amazing. And it's what this area needs, right?
Yeah.
Like Jake was saying, that you have to drive to Concord for your basic fire training. It's a lot. It's a big commitment, and having this right in your backyard is pretty special.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I think you'd be remiss to say that Robbie has also this year flown to Texas to partake in a weekend conference down there, as well as to outside of San Francisco to participate in conferences out there. So
yeah, I was just going to say that it was impressive that Robbie was talking a lot about that he took the time to go and educate himself outside, and he brought that all back. And that's what we all do here as instructors, as chiefs, as being more of an influence to our younger generation, is bringing our knowledge outside and bring it to our state so they can get some good quality out of the box thinking. And what I saw you bring this weekend, Robbie, was actually really cool. Is I learned that. Larry, I just learned this stuff last weekend. I was in California. I did Nozzle Forward. I got to meet and trained by Aaron Fields, and I'm going to show you what I learned. It went over really, really well. You obviously absorbed that information, and the students really took to it. And it was cool to see you take something from the West Coast and you brought it here to New Hampshire. And again, a lot of people can't afford to go to Oregon. They can't go to California. And just the flight alone is not, obviously just the registration fee, all of that's really expensive. And you brought that knowledge back. So it was really cool to be able to see that. And especially, you're only, what, 21?
Yeah, give or take.
Right?
Yeah.
So the fact that you have that knowledge, but you're presenting it so well,
yeah.
and you said it with such passion. I thought it was really cool to watch you do that today.
It's the gift that keeps on giving, right? I'll shout out Quinn Healy. He's my sidekick when we go out to all these trainings. But yeah, it's the best part of going and traveling for all these trainings is you get to see how other parts of the country do it.
Yeah.
You get to talk to dudes that are on the job, and it's cool, right?
Love it.
And I wouldn't say it's different. Everybody's got the right mindset at those trainings, but hearing their stories and how they operate, it's cool. And trying to implement maybe some things from out there over here, and vice versa.
Yeah.
They're going to try stuff that, you know, we bring up, that we do up in the Northeast.
Great.
But it's cool.
And you got a great influence. You have your father, you're a generational firefighter. So it's cool to see that continuously keep going to other people, to see your passion and bring that to others. Obviously, your dad did something right with infecting you with that passion for the fire service. Now, is it going to come back next year? You guys already going to start pre-planning and getting this going?
Yeah, weekend classes or weeknight classes.
Oh, that's great.
You know, this was the ultimate.
That is
I'm
fantastic.
hoping it's for years to come, not just another year. It's years and years to come.
And how does the funding come in for this?
At this point now, it's all private donations.
Okay.
And you know, like this class, we made a little bit, and the class would be put back in.
If anyone is interested in donating to keep this going, how do they get a hold of you, and what do they need to do?
At this point right now, the best way to probably reach out to me at the Fitzwilliam Fire Department.
Okay.
Will be the best way, but we're going to soon. Right now, probably the best way to get a hold of me or any Jake or Dan or Mark. You know,
Sure.
At any of them.
What is it that you think you need for anybody who's watching this for the future planning to keep this going? What is some things that you could suggest or request for the public? That is it just donations, or is there anything else that would help make this more effective for training?
I'd say at this time donations. I mean, we've got this is the assembly hall behind us here is classroom priority this year. Get fresh paint on this, get the interior painted. It needs some work downstairs on the classrooms downstairs. And then these guys, I mean, training props, you know, are a big thing, you know, start training props. But, you know, I think one of our priorities are the structure we've got here already. The structures, we got several nice ones, you know, get them up and function. I think this weekend was a good test. They're all working pretty good. You know, we've got we're all been kicking around ideas all weekend.
That's great.
Somebody had a bunch of containers they wanted to donate so we can build some buildings for some Class A burns and stuff. That would be awesome.
Excellent. Love it. Well, thank you so much, guys. Is there anything else that you want to say to anybody watching this and anybody listening about this service, about the education you're bringing back? Anything to look forward for next year? Anything that you want them to be on the lookouts for?
I think that I would just say that the Monadnock Fire Conference is here to stay. It's certainly something that Jake and I are going to commit to because we want to get back to this facility. We want to provide fire training for the Monadnock region and beyond. Expect for next year to be expanded classes, a little bit more amenities, hopefully to have some more vendors and sponsorship opportunities to come down the road. But we're not going anywhere. And like Chief Dabrisky said, is in the fall, we're looking to hold another training weekend, hopefully by then with some live fire opportunities. So that is our goal. That is our ambition, but we're not going in.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you guys talking with me. It was a great weekend. I think everybody had a fantastic time. Great instructors, great students. So you heard it. If you're looking to donate or looking to help out to keep this program alive, you can reach out to the Fitzwilliam Fire Chief. Eventually, you're going to have a website and a Facebook or social media page, so you can reach out to them and see how you can help out in any way. Thank you all so much for being a part of this. Thank you for bringing this to New Hampshire. Thank you for letting me be a part of it. I really had a lot of fun and meeting all you guys and meeting everybody in the surrounding areas. So being from New Hampshire, this is super beneficial, and I love it. I can't wait to see this grow more and more. Thank you all for tuning into the C.A.N Report. Make sure you click like, subscribe. I love you all. Mazel tov.